Hey.
Hello, everyone.
Thanks,
Welcome to Wake Up
ASAP.
Missoula.
Sure.
What song was that?
That is the Underdog song.
Oh,
The Underdog cartoon
okay.
of the 60s.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
Like every other cartoon when they have like some kind of walking sequence or dreaming
Yeah.
sequence,
Oh, yeah.
it seems like.
Yeah, every time Sweet Top Polly got in trouble, she would sing that song.
I didn't even know how the words, they had words to that song?
Oh, where is my underdog? Oh, where,
Oh, really? I didn't even know that. That's,
didn't
you
know
learn
that
something
either.
new every day.
Man,
Yeah,
thanks,
let's, yeah, because ASAP's face is
Oh,
going to be
shoot.
covered by the...
Steph, I'm sorry. I don't want to cover your face.
Sorry about that.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wake Up Missoula.
Yes.
I'm Noelle McAvoy.
And I'm Scott Ramph.
And it's Wednesday.
And we have a great show for you guys.
We really do. We have
Yeah.
a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah, a lot of things to talk about. There's
So many.
big announcements, a lot of trending videos, and a lot of like big, huge trends that are going to change the world.
Yeah.
And of course, things that are going to really change Missoula. But first, let's talk about the weather, because the weather is ever changing and it is getting warmer. So for this weekend, it's going to get as high as 55 degrees. So if you
God.
take a look at our week forecast, and this morning it is about 29 degrees Fahrenheit, a little foggy. Not too foggy. It's going to clear up by today, with highs up to 48. I think it's probably going to be even hotter because it's going to be mostly sunny. And then tonight's going to be mostly cloudy to keep all that warm air in. And then Thursday, it's going to be mostly cloudy. Friday, mostly sunny. And then, of course, it's going to start raining Saturday night, but that's only a 20% chance of rain. So it might rain for like 10, 15 minutes and then be done.
Yeah. Well, it looks like that we're skipping winter and we're going to go straight into spring.
Yeah. Oh, and you have the snow
Yeah, I
report.
got the ski report. Yeah, totally. So,
So you want to call it the snow report or the ski report?
ski snow report? It's all
Because
the same
ski's
thing.
like you're saying, I don't like snowboarders, so it's not the snowboarders report.
Oh, excuse me, everyone. Don't be so politically correct, Scott.
I am not trying to be politically
everyone.
correct.
I calm down.
All right.
So Discovery Basin, they have got 42 inches on the bottom, 53 inches on top, and they got 1 inch of new snow. Looks like Lookout is 33 inches on the bottom, 58 inches on top, and they've got 2 inches of new snow. Lost Trail is 50 inches on bottom and 70 inches on top, and they have 0 new inches of snow. And then Snowball is 39 inches on bottom, 74 inches on top, and 1 inch of new snow. And then Whitefish is 79 inches on top, 79 inches on bottom, and 2 inches of new snow.
Cool.
So yeah, everywhere has kind of got some new snow. That's kind of nice.
So I'm
It'll
gonna.
cover the
Yeah.
slush. Yeah.
Nice. So if you guys are down for this weekend to go up snowing and skiing, snowboarding, or just go down the mountain on a sled or whatever, it's perfectly fine. Because if it rains down here, it snows up there. That's
Hopefully.
God willing.
That's what we like to think. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of things I want to talk about going on today. Especially, there's a new book coming out by the writer of
yeah.
Into the Wild, Jon Krakauers. And he's writing a book which already sold about 500,000 copies in pre-sale alone. And the title of the book is, I'll just show you. It's called Missoula, Rape and the Justice System in a College Town. And why are you...
Because it just, I don't know.
Because the title is Missoula and the
Yeah, because
subtext
it's-
is...
Yeah, because Missoula is not that. That is
Exactly.
not Missoula at all. That's the officials at the University of Montana and a few select men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not Missoula. And they're just putting a bad rep on us. Because they don't even know. All they know is what they hear. And all they know... I don't know.
Well,
I'm
if you,
upset.
well,
I'm
in
bummed.
the story, the guy who wrote the book, one of his female friends was a victim.
Well, yeah.
So he was
So-
really angry and he tried to get as much information from the university during that time. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of stuff going on that time as well. The DOJ. If you don't know who Jon Krakauers is, he's the guy who wrote Into the Wild. He's a best-selling author. He's been on the New York's best-selling list so many times with umpteen number of books. And now he's writing a book called Missoula.
I
And,
know.
yeah.
It's just like, why don't you just change the name? All right. Not
So now,
Missoula,
like when everyone
University
types in
officials.
Missoula on their Google searches, they'll
That's
be
gonna be
able
the
to
first thing that pops up.
a book
Awesome.
that says that. So
Awesome.
just think about that. The book will drop on April 21st, and he'll probably do a book tour the next couple of months. And it already has 500,000 pre-sales. That's like half the population of Montana alone.
Yeah.
Is 500,000.
Yep.
But moving on to other things that are trending in the world, there is okay. So they did so Mustang Ford. I know it's not a commercial, but I'm just going to show a little snippet of it. And they basically, it was a speed dating. This one girl took a bunch of guys on a speed dating. And speaking of speed dating, she took them in a Ford Mustang and drove them around like crazy. And I think this first part's really funny because the guys are not unaware that this is not a commercial. They think it's an actual like speed date. So she took them in the Ford Mustang, and this is what happened.
I like to ride my bike. I like to exercise and work out. Go rock climbing.
It's cool.
I like to go to live theater. I'm really well-rounded, actually.
Oh, you might want to shift it again.
This is alright. I'm just gonna go up here and turn around.
Oh yeah. Are you serious now?
It's the wrong way.
Why are we going so fast?
Yeah, and she just took it for a drive.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked her reaction. She's like, yeah. And he's like, I like rock climbing. I like being busy.
I'm really well-rounded. That's cool.
Of course, the next thing is that it takes orders. It's very friendly, but you really can't pet it because it's a robot. This is a trending on YouTube right now is a robot dog that does all sorts of wonderful, great stuff, and it has perfect balance.
I like that.
So here it is. See? This is walking through the hallways.
Cute.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
See, it walking in on ice.
Looks more like a deer than anything.
Yeah, a little doe. But yeah, it's
That's
quite the
weird.
thing. But it just kind of shows you that technology is getting more and more awesome. For sure. All terrain.
If you saw that, what if you were walking through woods like that and then saw that?
Yeah.
What would you do? Is that rude?
Up the stairs. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of like interesting
That's
stuff.
impressive, though. That's pretty impressive, but it's really freaky.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
But of course, another thing is, speaking of dogs, there's nothing more loyal than a cat.
A real dog.
So here's some more cats.
Okay, you guys ready? Lay down. Roll over. Roll over. Roll over.
Cat
So yeah.
Cute.
Yeah. So yeah, it's and I recognize that that song that they play in the background is like, oh, you can get it on a Final Cut 10 program that we use
nice.
here all the time. And of course, you can't, it's not MCAT like our channel without showing a stinking cat. But another big announcement that's happening in the world today is Jon Stewart, the long host of The Daily Show, is leaving. If you haven't heard it already, he's moving on to bigger and better things. He wants to probably direct because he just directed this one film just this last year. But yeah, this is his announcement of him quitting.
Doug Herzog, Michelle Gainless of Comedy Central gave me an incredible opportunity 17 years ago to pilot this wonderful franchise. And 17 years is the longest I have ever in my life held a job by 16 years and 5 months. Thank you. The upshot there being, I am a terrible employee. But in my heart, I know it is time for someone else to have that opportunity. And
All right, so he goes on to
he's
say,
so nice.
yeah. So he's gone.
We heart you, John.
And he said he's going to work out the details about when he's going to be leaving and who's going to be his replacement. So they're going to keep the Daily Show going. It's just that he's not going to be any part of it. But without further ado, we have a guest on today, and he is...
Marc Moss is here from Tell Us Something.
Yes.
So we're going to show you guys a From the Vault and bring him out.
And for those of you who don't know what Tell Us Something is, it is...
it's like it's a group where everyone.
It's like an open mic night for stories.
Pretty much, yeah. You
Yeah,
get 10 minutes.
and we'll have them out in just a second, right after we show this little video of from the vault from the past of the Native Americans doing the Kio powwow.
We're back with Marc Moss from Tell Us Something. Hello, how are
Hello,
you?
good morning.
Good morning. I know it's early.
Yeah. And yeah, well, tell us about Tell Us Something.
What is Tell Us Something?
Tell Us Something is an opportunity for Missoulians to get up on stage and share their true personal stories.
Nice.
We've been doing it for almost 4 years, and they have 10 minutes to tell their true story from memory, and it's always based on a theme. It started out actually as the Missoula Moth, and Patrick Dugans founded that. He used to work at the Paparello, and he writes for 420 Blackbirds. And he did it kind of as a free-for-all. There was no time limit, there was no theme, and sometimes it would run 4 hours. And some of the stories were awesome, and some of the stories were difficult to listen to.
Yeah.
Just because they rambled and rambled and rambled. So
Yeah.
he left, and I took that idea and kind of refined it a little bit, added that 10-minute time limit. Storytellers can see, we have a little iPad, so they can see their time as it's going through, and then at 9 minutes, they get a gong so that they know they've got a minute left. The audience knows they have a minute left. Sometimes they go a little bit over, but usually.
Oh,
really
you
stick
like
that
a
time.
whole like a gong and everything?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Nice.
donated by Rockaroonies.
Nice, that's fun.
And we've been really lucky, sponsored by the University Bookstore, or the bookstore at the University of Montana. We've recently become fiscally sponsored by Missoula Community Foundation, and what
Nice.
that means is Tell Us Something now can compete for grants better.
Cool.
We can accept tax-deductible donations, and eventually we're going to expand into hopefully the schools and take it on the road a couple times a year.
Cool.
So.
And also do you also record this for like radio? And
Yeah, well, we're going to hopefully be on Montana Public Radio.
Nice.
Right now we do podcast Tell Us Something at tellussomething.org. You can listen for free. You can subscribe to the podcast. That's one of the most important ways that you can support the project. We've got 4 years worth of stories online right now, and we've had themes like Be Careful What You Wish For, the things we carried. Busted was really fun, and you can actually see that one on MCAT's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and thanks to MCAT too
Yeah.
for being up there and filming it for us. It's been amazing to have you guys on board.
Yeah. So when is the next event?
The next one is this coming Tuesday, the 17th of February, and the theme is adventure. It's $5. It will be at the Top Hat. Starts at 6 o'clock. Usually it gets pretty full by around 5:15, so I would say get there early.
Yeah.
How can you sign up? How can people sign up?
We're full for Tuesday. The upcoming themes for the year, and I can't remember the exact dates, but June is Oops, I Changed My Mind. September is Oldest Trick in the Book. and December is Revelation Illumination. People can sign up by approaching me at the event. They can like the Facebook page and send us a message via Facebook. They can call 203-4683, I think is the number, and leave us a 3-minute story pitch, or they can just email us from the website. Tell us
But pretty much,
something.
if they look for you, they can find you.
Yeah.
And
I'll be
Yeah.
dressed just like this.
Cool. Perfect. So what's the website?
TellUsSomething.org.
Okay.
nice.
Yep.
Cool. What is your next step? What do you guys think is your next step for Tell Us Something?
Well, the first thing that I want to do is to kind of tighten up the website so that it's really easy to search for stories based on theme and year. Right now, it's just a long scrolling page of all of the stories that we have available. So I want that to be available to folks to kind of have a better archive.
Yeah.
And then take that and start applying for grants. Take it on the road a couple times a year to some different Montana cities. But I do want to keep it in Montana. We'll continue to do the 4 events per year and hopefully take it into the schools. I'm going to apply for a grant to do Tell Us Something at the ZAC
Oh, that'd be
this
fun.
summer, do some workshops at the ZAC. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. That sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Really
thanks.
promising.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So
good
one more
luck.
time, when and where is it going to be?
The next Tell Us Something is at the Top Hat Lounge, 6 o'clock on Tuesday, February 17th, and the theme is adventure.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
thank you so
Absolutely.
much,
Thanks for
Mark.
having me.
Thanks. We'll be right back, everyone.
Grandpa always wanted to be a cowboy, so he and my grandma bought some property in the Beartooth of south central Montana when my mother was young. We've spent summers there ever since. It's where we scattered my grandpa's ashes. This beautiful land is now being threatened by fracking. In this destructive process of extracting natural gas, 750 chemicals, including 29 known carcinogens, are pumped into the ground using 2 to 5 million gallons of water. Up to 70% of the chemical water stays in the ground after the process. To make matters worse, Montana currently enacts a tax holiday for oil and gas exploration. For the first 12 to 18 months of operation, companies are taxed less than 1%. For fracked wells, this is usually the most active period of the well's life. If fracking is allowed, the Beartooth won't be safe. We have too much to risk. Say no to fracking.
Hey, we're back.
Say no to fracking, everyone.
No.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Well, right? That
Yeah.
was cool. Tell us something
Yep.
next week on Tuesday.
And speaking of events coming up to you guys today and tomorrow, I'm
I've
sure
got-
Noelle has.
Things going on. I
Things
do.
going
Okay.
on.
So first up, the Children's Museum of All right, let me restart this. The Children's Museum of Missoula.
You have your camera.
They've got their They've got their rice table from 11 to 12. So you can go. They've got a bunch of colorful rice, and you can go and sift and pour and play in it. This sounds fun.
Nice.
Spectrum Discovery Area, their Discovery Bench is astronomy and their Brain Lab is neurons. $3.50 for everyone 4 and over, and if you're 3 and under, you get them for free. So, the Big Sky Doc Film Fest is going on. So the second event of the day is the Interactive Documentary Exhibition. It's in the Missoula Art Museum at 11 until 5, it looks like. And so it showcases the cutting edge of interactive nonfiction storytelling. And then the first movie is called Personal Gold. It will play at the Crystal at 5:30 p.m. And it's an underdog story of 4 women cyclists who become America's medal hope at the London Olympics when the men's team is banned during the Lance Armstrong drug scandal. Yep.
Awesome.
The underfunded women turn to support from a volunteer team, including their husbands, in a quantified self-experiment using data, not drugs, to attempt the impossible, win the women's first track cycling medal in 20 years, which that's cool. So these are usually about $8. This will be at the Crystal tonight at 5:30. Go to Missoula, no, not Missoula, go to bigskyfilmfest.org and you can check out the schedule of what else is happening today. The Missoula Public Library is hosting their middle school writers. This is a writing group for ages 6 through 9, grades 6 through 9. It's every Wednesday, 3:30 to 5. This is so middle school writers can get feedback, give feedback, play with words, and they have chocolate too. Top Hat Lounge has got their couple hours of fish, so they do. It's from 4:30 until whenever. It doesn't have an end time, but they do. They show live recorded videos of fish. And on Mondays, they have the Grateful Dead, so you can get your jam bands every other day. The Kettle House at Northside, their community pint night. They're going to do the Missoula Nordic Ski Club. Every 50 cents from each beer sold will be donated to that Nordic Ski Club.
Nice.
The Zootown Arts Community Center is having their glass fusing orientation class. They have this every month. It's $20 for non-members and $15 for members, plus the cost of glass. It's usually between $5 and $20. So it'll just go over everything that you need to know about fusing glass. The kilning process to slumping, fusing, mold making, and glass aftercare. And once you've attended, you can go into their studio at any time.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's cool too. So there is a power networking. It's a interactive workshop that you'll discover why traditional networking techniques just don't work anymore. It's at Montech, 1121 East Broadway. It's just about finding out why traditional methods don't work anymore, and they're going to give you new methods. Yeah. And that'll be at Montech at 5:30 today. Power networking. Missoula Public Library's got their beginning word class. It's an introduction to word processing, including how to create a document, manipulate the text and font, use templates, and a few fun tricks. Registration is required. You can call 721-2665, but it's not until 6 o'clock tonight. I'm sure you can still call and register. The Roxy Theater, they've got a backcountry film festival. Starts at 7:30. This is the 10th year that Boise-based Winter Wildlands Alliance has sponsored the Backcountry Film Festival. This year has a bunch of different films. From the Road, Afterglow, Backcountry Baker, Out on a Limb, 95 to Infinity, IRS Traverse, Powder Pilgrimage, Sundog, and Higher. They feature Missoula locals Jeremy Lurgio, who is a filmmaker, and Leslie Nice, who is the owner, and Baker is the dog. And they will be in attendance at the show. So the doors open at 6:30. Show starts at 7:30. This is going to be at the Roxy Theater. General admission is $10. Youth and students with a valid ID are only $8. They do not accept credit cards, only cash or check. So make sure you come prepared. And the last event for tonight is leftover salmon with hot buttered rum. That's going to be at the Top Hat at 8 p.m.
Is that food?
I know.
Is this like...
They're jam bands. Jam bands have the silliest names.
They literally have.
Fish, hot buttered rum.
And if one band member... If one band... if one band member leaves, it's like hot buttered rum.
Yeah.
And then each I don't know.
Each letter goes as each band member leaves. Yeah.
L is for Levi, S is for Sam, W is Willard, H is for Holt,
Harold.
B is for Butt, and R is for Raul.
Oh, Raul.
Raul, you know Raul.
They're diversity guy.
It's diversity. No, he's really white.
Yeah. I don't know. Jam bands always have the silliest names. The string cheese incident, hot buttered rum, leftover salmon. That sounds like a great meal, doesn't it?
No, string cheese.
But if you like jam bands with food names, you can go to the Top Hat tonight. It's $22.
Yeah.
But that's what's going on for today. Up next, I have Thursday events. The Montana Natural History Center, they've got their mini naturalist program. Starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow. It's for little kids to explore the wonders of nature through songs, stories, movement, and hands-on science. It's from 10 to 11. It's $3 or $1 for members, and then adults are free. Children's Museum of Missoula is hosting family yoga from 11 to 11:30 tomorrow. They'll do yoga story, games, and poses. Spectrum Discovery Area, their Discovery Bench is robotics, and their Brain Lab is Did You Hear That? It starts at 11, it goes until 4, $3.50 for anyone 4 and over, and if you're under 3, you get in for free. So the Big Sky Film Fest is going on as always. So the first event is called the Big Sky Pitch Session. That's in the UC tomorrow at 9 a.m.
So if you're a filmmaker.
Yeah, for a filmmaker, yeah. So Alexander Hannibal of Tribeca Doc Fund is going to be there. Nolan Walker of ITVS and Nikki Heyman of POV. That's going to be at the UC tomorrow, and so they're going to talk about, pitching your movies. And POV is actually a really awesome show. I always watch it on PBS. It's good. Okay, and then the first movie is called Top Spin. This is at the Wilma, starting at 4 p.m.
And you have a trailer.
Yeah, I do have a trailer for it. Yeah, it's about 3 teenagers who battle their way through the world of competitive ping pong.
What?
And I've got a trailer for that. Yeah, I know, right?
That's crazy. It's insane.
It's super guy life.
All right.
All right, so
Hit
check
it.
it out, everyone.
Have either of you secretly wished that Ariel wanted to give up?
Secretly?
We even open
We openly beg her every 3 months. Please, let's stop.
Table tennis is a lot like martial arts and boxing combined with chess.
Every inch of a second counts.
So you have to practice endlessly. Forehand, backhand, serves.
Spin, under spin, side spin.
So you have to think 1 move or 2 moves, sometimes 3 or 4 moves ahead of your opponent. It is evolving. Table tennis is coming out of the basement and out of the garages into more mainstream USA, so it's coming.
I want to say you're number 2 in 18 and under.
For ranking or?
Yeah.
Well, technically, number 1.
Oh, okay.
Technically.
Okay.
Oh, wow. I've met so many friends around the world, from everywhere, from Europe, Africa, Asia.
I miss my parents, but they call me every day, so it's not a big problem. Before, when I was 10 or 11, I'd be gone for 2-3 months in China.
And you can see all that happening.
Right? Yeah.
Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night at the Wilma at 4 p.m.
Yep, the
Yeah,
Wilma
it's
1,
fine.
which is the big theater.
Oh, okay. Thanks, guys.
Oh, no problem, Noelle.
All right, well, everyone, Natural Grocers out on 3rd Street over off of Reserve. They're having a Vegan pressure cooking 101 class.
Vegan?
Vegan. Did I say vegan?
Sorry.
I'm so tired. Oh my gosh. I was at school board last night. It ran until about
4 hours.
10:30, almost 11. Yeah, I'm so tired. Okay.
That's
not
pretty short for a
vegan.
regular meeting because Sam usually tells me it goes for 4 or 5 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, vegan and not vegan.
Vegan pressure cooker. What's a vegan?
Oh man, it's been quite a week for me. Okay, so pretty much what it says, they're gonna help you, show you how to make vegan pressure cooking meals, 1-pot meals that'll won't keep you in the kitchen all the time, but they do keep you and your family happy. Okay, up next, the University Congressional Children's Center. Their preschool is hosting an open house. It is from 4 to 6 tomorrow at 405 University Avenue. It serves children 3 to 5 years of age. It is located in the church. Nonprofit, professionally staffed, parent-involved school. For more information, you can call 531-8222 or go to www.uccccpreschool.com. And the Missoula Family YMCA, they're doing their family fun time at the Y. They have activities that include 2 bounce houses and indoor tricycle riding rack, tumbling mats, softy hockey, scooters, and much more. They also have tables and really nice chairs for the parents to sit in and gossip. It's $17 for a family without a membership, but if you have a membership, it's included.
What?
There's a downtown drop-in wine tasting at La Grata Bella. This is located under the Old Post Pub at 107 West Spruce Street. It's every Thursday at 5 p.m. It costs us $10 and is payable at the Old Post. There's a minimum of 4 wines in a different theme each week.
Cool.
Union Club has Merry Place and Blue Moon at 5:30. There's smoky and sultry jazz and blues. Good Food Store's got a chef's table Valentine's Day romance. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Starts at 6:30, $35 tomorrow. So the Plonk Wine Bar, Derek Wixelack, is going to show you how to prepare a 5-course Valentine's Day dinner that you and your special someone are sure to love. So instead of being in restaurants, you can just stay at home. So he's going to make a seared scallop and charred chicory and hazelnut salad with apple thyme puree, a brown butter vinaigrette pasta carbonara braised lamb shank with mashed squash, and sweet and sour caramelized chipotle onions. They're also going to make a dark chocolate beet noir with graham cracker crust, maple syrup, and spiced whipped cream. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. Yeah, but, and so once you go to that, you can go right over to the Runner's Edge for their treadmill challenge. Run it all off. But no, it's just like a spectator event where you can come and watch Missoula's best runners battle it out in a winner-take-all competition. So it's a fundraiser for Missoula Youth Homes. That'll be at Runner's Edge tomorrow.
So I'm thinking that this is watching people on treadmills, and then it just slowly increase the speed more and more as the time goes on.
I would hope so.
And people fall off, and it's probably going to be...
I hope so.
People just eating it.
Yeah.
And it'd be like...
Yeah.
I knew I came here for a reason.
We can only hope, Scott.
We only hope.
The University of Montana is hosting a Missoula Conservation Lands Vegetation Management discussion. So they're going to explain the Conservation Lands Vegetation Management Program. That'll be in room L09 in the Gallagher Business Building tomorrow at 7:30. And then my last event for tomorrow night is Ted Ness and the Rusty Nails are going to be at the Top Hat for free at 10 p.m. So that is what's going on for today and tomorrow.
Cool.
That's all I got. Yeah.
And I have what happened on Monday.
Oh.
So we're going to throw back to Monday's City Council. I have the City Council report, and you can find out all the great information by logging on to the website www.ci.missoula.mt.us. It's basically saying City, Missoula, Montana, United States. Or you can find it on a search engine. Type in City of Missoula. If you don't see that book come up,
yeah.
Ignore that book.
Yeah, don't look at that book and just find the city government page.
Yes, but I usually don't start off with public comment, but Doug Grimm talks about the rattlesnake traffic and getting caught behind train cars trying to get to and from town from rattlesnake, and this is one of his solutions. Of course, you've probably heard this before, but he's suggesting putting warning lights a couple blocks away so people know to take alternative routes.
Yep.
I have here a suggestion that two flashing lights be installed, one at the intersection of Lolo and Duncan Drive, which is at the west end of Lolo, so the traffic coming down, they stop at the stop sign, they see the light flashing, and they would know to head east on Lolo and go down Van Buren Street and avoid the train crossing because there's a train on the tracks. And then a second light would be at the east end of Lolo, where it meets Rattlesnake Drive, and the people coming down would know not to go west on Lolo.
Yeah, so besides that, there was also another public comment. I didn't want to show it because I could just tell you that there's a neighborhood ambassadors came and talked about a cookie decorating party happening the week of February 16th. And it's I don't know, it sounds pretty cool. Nice. It's at the university, and it's the university neighborhood ambassadors and stuff like that. But another thing happened is Mayor had 2 proclamations. Today I'm going to have him say both 2 proclamations of basically it's this week themed week and this day themed day. But I'll let him say what it is.
School, whereas kindness is an attribute that grows within all people, and whereas nurturing kindness within ourselves and modeling kindness to others provides an opportunity to guide and inspire an entire community, And whereas intentionally performing an act of kindness has the potential to lift spirits and encourage others to do the same, and whereas by fostering acts of kindness within our community, we help our citizens develop a base of compassion and perspective within themselves and those around them, and whereas Missoula is seen by the nation and the world as a center for bringing kindness, inspiring citizens worldwide, young and old, to take a moment and be a thoughtful, compassionate friend, neighbor, and fellow citizen. Now, therefore, I, Jon Krakauers, Mayor of the City of Missoula and the State of Montana, do hereby proclaim February 9th through 13th, 2015 in Missoula, Montana as Superhero of Kindness Week. And thank you.
Yep, and of course, there was a kid that went around and handed out bouquets and with her mom.
Oh, cute.
See?
That's nice.
They went around and they did give a bouquet or a flower to each member of the board.
Cute.
Yep. It was. I think it was a nice, cute thing to do.
That is super nice.
Mm-hmm. And the next proclamation, and here's the next proclamation that Mayor Jon Krakauers did.
As for more than 122 years, the University of Montana has been providing educational services in our city, and whereas the City of Missoula has benefited from the many research, teaching, and community service initiatives that make this university one of the most outstanding educational institutions in the world, and whereas one of the most important days in the university's calendar is Charter Day, an annual event celebrating the signing of the university's charter, which provides our community an opportunity to join with the university in honoring exceptional faculty, staff, students, and alumni. And whereas families, friends, neighbors, students, alumni, and faculty members past and present are welcome at the Charter Day celebration. Now, therefore, I, Jon Krakauers, Mayor of the City of Missoula and the State of Montana, do hereby proclaim February 12th, 2015 in Missoula, Montana as University of Montana Day. And we will be celebrating that Charter Day this week.
Yep.
Oh, how are they going to celebrate it? I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it's going to be at the university. Sometime somewhere at the university. And it's happening tomorrow, so look it up.
Look for it, everyone.
Montana Day, University of Montana Day. So, yeah, it's quite a thing. Okay, so. Now our favorite SID is the AKA Special Improvement District. Also, AKA vacant landowners are now indifferent about it. And this Jim Schuck, he is the landowner legal representation for the Fry family, and of course this is what he had to say about this SID.
Mayor and City Council, thanks for the opportunity to speak. This SID is immeasurably better than the one proposed just a few years ago. It is fairer in some respects, but I think still unfair to the larger landowners. I'm willing to pay my fair share, but I'm hesitant to pay a disproportionate share. The city seems to feel that if you decide to invest in land instead of cars or vacations or whatever else, that you should be targeted. The argument as drafted, the agreement as drafted, requires us in effect to put a lien on the land for 25 years, 5 years beyond the expiration of the bond, with interest which begins with the issuance of the bond. That accumulated interest and the principal are due when a housing permit is issued. The interest is accumulating, although there is no benefit to that lot during that time. This is equivalent to someone saying, we think you will buy a car, so there is a lien on the property for that car, and when you buy it, say in 15 years, we will assess you interest as though you had bought the car in year 1, not year 15. If someone builds an accessory dwelling unit on a lot, and that is no more apocryphal than my potential building permit, that unit pays nothing. Equitable? This sets a sobering precedent for the future. This objection revolves around the issue of fairness, but as disturbing has been the duplicity or the plain chicanery of the city. The plan was presented to the neighborhood council after the horse had kicked his way out of the barn. When an engineer in the neighborhood rose to ask a question at the hearing, he was told to sit down and be quiet. Civil? The so-called hearing was actually a silencing since the objections were ignored. We, the citizens of Missoula, need you to listen to us. This sets a sobering precedent for the future. And this is myself. I think if the agreement is imposed without the lady's signature, it will be illegal. And if the ordinance punishing them for not doing so is passed, I think the same thing. Thank you very much for your time.
Yep.
AKA, I'ma see you.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the response from the council, but not directly. This is usually, it's mostly indirect response. This is Jordan Hess.
Very fast.
I think that this was a very fair process that leans on a traditional funding mechanism, the SID, and tempers that with subsidies from the road district and the transportation impact fee money, which is what we do as a community. When we have a community need, I believe we bind together and address that need as a community. As we move to other areas, other roadways that need work, I would be happy to apply this model again. I do thank all of the parties for coming out on what has been a long process and expressing their concerns and their concerns in opposition and their sentiments of support. Both shaped the process and allowed us to come up with a better product, and I'm thankful for that. I think at the end of the day, it's a good project, and it's a good process, and I'm happy to support it.
Yep. Of course, that's Jordan Hess. He wasn't on the board when they actually tried to get this done, and the one person, John Wilkins, was on the board from the very beginning, and it's his district, his ward, that for the Hillview Way Improvement Road, and this is what he had to say after all this time.
On this first time around, and this is a lot more fair than the first time around, and even to the large landowners. So not everything you can get the way you just want it. Sometimes you have to take some of the bad with the good, and I think overall there's a lot of good in this road.
Further discussion?
Okay.
Cool.
So that's
Sounds
what he had
good,
to say
John
about
Wilkins.
it. Of course, the road's going to be built, but it's not going to be so for the benefit of bike lanes. They're not going to really benefit the bike lanes as much, but they're more interested in building a nice, solid road.
Yeah.
And like the lines will come. The lines will the bike lanes will come later, but first and foremost, they have to create a good quality road for fire trucks to go up and down in case of an emergency. And therefore, they did talk about that a little bit, but I'm not. But I'm just going to bring it up real quick. So, in conclusion of this thing, the motion passed with only one opposition from Adam Hertz. So let's get this road let's get this road built already.
Beat that road.
Yeah, let's get this road built.
Oh, now you're gonna bite it?
Bite.
You're gonna beat it and bite it. And then you're gonna build it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
that sounds like the process.
you can expect this road to get built in summer of 2016.
Okay, cool.
So a year from now, they have the engineering. So yeah. I don't know. The same question arises, like, when are we going to get Russell Bridge replaced? They already talked about the design stuff. I did a shoot almost a year or two ago for the design of the Russell Bridge and how they should make it. And so yeah, it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to my next thing. It is the lobbyist report. And of course, the city of Missoula wants to support 4 bills from the Montana Legislative. So it's House Bill 188, which I don't know, which I'll let Ben Schmidt, and he's with the Energy and Climate team, talking about all of these wonderful bills, which is 188, 192, 182, and 134, all having to do with using alternative energy to lower the costs from using power from Northwestern Energy, and also being able to share energy from people who are, let's say your neighbor has a wind turbine or sun solar panels, and you want to say, hey, could I have some of your energy? You can't do that. That's actually illegal to do that. I mean, it's not that you cannot do it. It just doesn't make any sense. But now that the laws, these bills are up for discussion, and this is Ben Schmidt on all these bills.
I would like to say at this time that even though these bills have been tabled, there is a chance that they may be blasted out of committee at some point. The other thing is we just want to build awareness in the community and with the City Council about this topic, so in future legislations it has a greater chance of moving forward on this. I just want to give a brief overview of all 4 bills, and to start with the HB 192. This would increase the cap on net metering for renewable energy projects. Right now, Montana has one of the smallest sizes of photovoltaic systems or wind power systems that can be used for net metering. It's set at 50 kilowatts. This bill would increase that limit from 50 kilowatts to 1 megawatt. One of the big benefits of this is while a 50 kilowatt system is good for residential sized projects, it really isn't big enough to suit the needs of even a medium-sized business or a larger business or entity that would like to potentially do a larger project to support more of their on-site electrical needs. The other one is HB 188, which would basically extend the rollover for net metering credits. Right now, you have a 1-year period, and at the 1-year period, you basically, if you produce excess electricity in that 1 year, you lose that benefit. It's just basically gone. By extending this credit to 24 months versus a current 12 months, there's a greater chance that if you have a good year followed by a bad year that you can make a project pencil out. This would not affect a great deal this would not affect most projects, but there are definitely situations where it would be a benefit to help make something more viable economically.
Okay, so basically, I'll just go through the bills real quickly. House Bill 192 is the increased cap on net metering. If you haven't listened to it, it's basically from 50 kilowatts to 1 megawatt. And the difference between that is 50 kilowatts to 1,000 kilowatts. So there's a huge increase in green energy production.
That's
and then the 182 is neighborhood net metering, which opens up energy sharing like from a group. So if you have one main hub, if you have like a lot in your neighborhood that wants to utilize it, and then you can just spread out the equal distribution of power there.
Nice.
House Bill 134 works with the power company to lower the cost for people who don't use that much energy. Northwestern Energy has actually made laws preventing this kind of stuff from happening through their lobbyists. And I mean, of course, I'm not sure what 188 was. I listened to it as much as I can, and he didn't really explain too much, but
well, Northwest Energy is like pretty much like our only major.
The only power.
Company.
I mean, the only thing you can do is some businesses are only supposed to be a monopoly.
Yeah.
You can't really compete with energy companies. But now that there's all this other stuff going on here, all this alternative energy, so for people to be independent energy providers for themselves. So the idea of but of course House Bill 134 is important because it basically allows you to say, I don't want to pay as much for power anymore. Yeah. But of course, if you have like a baseline for the power, you're still paying the power company, baseline plus whatever extra power you use for that. But of course, they just charge you the same amount. Let's say you get a bill like $100 a month. Of course, and then in the winter, the heating bill is more and so whatnot like that. But the solar panels would probably help with that, so it kind of stabilizes throughout the year. But of course, we have all the resources to create power that gets us power, but storing power is another source. Like being able to store all that power we get from the sun is another issue that needs to be worked with and worked on. Moving on, I'm actually going to move on straight to the appointment segment. The Ward 4 seat is vacant.
Oh yeah.
And Caitlin Copple is looking for a replacement, and of course there's no more and now the board members are nominating him, and of course Jason Warner brings up a point to John Engen about utilizing the public for it with the mayor's how do you say hesitation for the public comment and nominations. So this is their little spat between those two.
Last item of new business this evening is to select candidates for interviews for the soon-to-be vacant Ward 4 council seat. And I am simply going to go around the room and ask you who you would like to interview, and you may choose to nominate someone or not. Mr. Weiner.
Just a point of order, are we going to have public comment on the item?
We certainly can.
We do. It might be in order to do that before we name names.
Tell me why that would be helpful. I think I'm interested in who's getting interviewed.
Sure. If we need to take public comment, I'd just assume we do it before we make a decision.
Okay.
I don't see that there's any decision to be made once we've all named our names.
Fair enough. All right. Would anyone care to comment on who ought to be interviewed? All right. Seeing none.
Okay, and that was a little struggle. But this is all the nominations for the council ward number 4, and each of the board members give their own candidates. So here they are.
I would like to nominate Patrick Weaselhead for an interview.
Thank you, Ms. Marler. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. O'Haron. My apologies. I have to look up before I ask, don't I? Yeah.
John DeBari.
Okay. Ms. Marler? Mr. Weiner?
I will pass, but I think we should interview everyone, so I might, on the second go around, name a name that hasn't been named.
Okay. Mr. Hess?
I'm going to nominate John DeBari, who's already been nominated, and express my enthusiasm for Jason's idea.
Mr. Taff is passing. Mr. Wilkins?
Well, I'll nominate Richard Beckett. I think I always get the last name wrong, but there's 6 candidates. I'd like to interview all 6 if you want to know the truth.
Ms. Hiddall?
I agree, and I will nominate Sue Orr.
And Mr. Childers?
I'm going to pass and note that each council member gets to appoint one person to be interviewed.
Mr. Von Lossberg?
I'm in agreement about interviewing, I think, all of them. I'll nominate Dudley Imprado.
Okay. Mr. Hertz?
I will nominate Greg Gullickson.
Okay. And Ms. Bentley?
Nope. So, she didn't say anything. She just indicated no.
That's funny.
All right, so this is a couple of the conversations between them. Jason Wander makes a point about the written exam, because there's like a written segment for applying for it, and he makes a point about the exam for the future board members. So this is what Jason Wander had to say.
We're not going to make a determination in committee, so we could put written questions out even after the interviews are completed, and that would allow the candidates to sort of present themselves without having to address every single one of our pet issue, and then to respond in writing, which will be good rehearsal for their Missoulian questionnaire in the fall.
Cool. So yeah, that's what Jason had to say about that. In response, otherwise interviews per candidate are by only 15 minutes, so they only get to meet the person for 15 minutes face to face, and they have to decide this person's gonna have a thing of power, some form of power, and some form of decision making in Missoula. This is what Ed Childers had to say.
I've discovered that some people work better in writing and some work better in person. And it's helpful when you're trying to make a decision like this, I think, to give people a choice to do the thing that they do the best. And I think an opportunity to respond in writing would be helpful to the process.
Yep, that's what he had to say about that. And moving quickly to John Wilkins, and he makes the point that it is his ward and people should make the right decision in terms of, his ward, Hillview Way, all that great stuff happening up on the South Hills. So this is John Wilkins.
Process too, and it was a farce. The whole process, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not real good at answering things in a written form, and so if I had to do that back then, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. So, that's kind of up to individuals. So I'd leave it as is.
Yep. I mean, it's a case by case basis. Some people aren't good with writing as they are with speaking, And of course, just because they are terrible writers doesn't mean that they can't express themselves openly about this. Okay, so this is Jason Weiner again.
I'm not one of those people who thinks that our boards and commissions interview process is really that great. In fact, I think it kind of stinks, having gone through a lot of those interviews. It's a very stilted process wherein it's highly scripted, and it's sort of like performance art. You're giving somebody the list of questions ahead of time, and they get up, and we all, go around a circle. So I think that's a terrible way to pick a city council person, and so I would prefer not to force the applicants into spending all of their time addressing the body, answering our list of questions about our pet issues. So the way to do that is to give them an opportunity to do so in writing, and then to allow more freedom for them to address their candidacy as they choose.
That's what he had to say about that. Of course, I have the mayor with the final words of this. This is what he had to say.
I think that you ought to. I think you ought to get as much information as you possibly can from folks, because they're going to be in a position to make decisions, and you'd like to think that they're also going to be in a position to run for office, and you ought to prepare them for some of the rigors of that process. And I think you have some examples of how you might want to proceed to do that, but. The more you know, the better off you're going to be. And a piece of the puzzle, I'd like to thank the folks who are here this evening. So part of this is showing up. So thank you for applying, but thank you also for being here and representing yourselves in front of this body that's going to choose among you. I think it was important for you to be here this evening, and I thank you for that.
Yep.
You're welcome, Mayor.
Yep. There's a couple candidates that were there, of course. But yeah, so in conclusion, the seat of Ward 4 by Copple is closed for registration, and now they have nominees who will, in part, take on the responsibilities of Ward 4, which is a big chunk of the South Hills and most everything south of Kent Street and east of Russell, respectively. These are the wards who live in the area where Hillview Way, the SID, aka Special Improvement District, aka large property owners really don't like it, passed the new road, and expect the project to start a year or so, maybe December 2016. I don't know.
Cool.
Like I said before. And of course, do you think we have enough time for Hallmark or Bullmark? Because I haven't done that in a while.
I mean, we only have 4 minutes.
Do you think I could do it in 4 minutes?
I think so. Sure.
All right.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's try it.
All right, so I'm going to
4
start
minutes.
with the camera really close. All right, and it's out of focus. I'm not going to use that camera. I thought I would have enough time to do it. Okay, ready? When a family of swans makes their home on another family's farm, it's love at first sight for 10-year-old daughter Frankie. So she falls in love with the swans.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. But along comes ornithologist Ginny, who rushes in to save the rare bird. So she's like that. For Frankie's dad, Jack, it's dislike at first sight when he encounters the pushy, know-it-all Ginny. Frankie and her brothers are anything but neutral observers as they watch the initial hostility between their widowed father and the strong-willed Jenny transform into something else. Could romance be in the air?
Oh my God.
And this movie is called Away and Back. Oh. So are you? And the game goes Hallmark or Bullmark. So I read a synopsis from a Hallmark movie or not, and you guys have to decide whether it is a real movie or it is complete bull honky. And so, what do you guys think? I'll start with Asaph. Hey Asaph, what do you think?
I'm gonna say it's not real.
You're not gonna say it's real?
No, I think it's real. I'm gonna say it's a real movie. I'm gonna say Hallmark. What is it?
It's a real movie.
Yeah. That's
Boom. Okay, so we have about 2 minutes
the
left.
The swan thing is so cheesy.
Yeah, I know. They've done the swan things.
Yeah.
I think we can wrap up. We can show the website. We didn't really even talk about the website.
Yeah, so if you guys want more information about us, you can check out Wake Up Missoula on wakeupmissoula.wix.wakeupmissoula. You can check out Wake Up Missoula on Facebook. You can also check out Wake Up Missoula on Twitter. And you can check out MCAT at mcat.org.
You can get involved. Orientation is tonight. And you can like us on our Facebook page, Missoula Community Access Television. But just one more announcement is orientation is tonight. So if you want to create a video just like us or do a live show just like us, you could come to MCAT, 500 North Higgins tonight at 5:30 p.m. Learn how to use cameras, we basically teach you how to do all the stuff that you see today and more.
Yeah.
We teach you how to edit. We teach you. We're a resource for people. Missoula Community Access Television. So we help you make your own television show. So if you're interested in doing that, email us at mcat@mcat.org or call us at 542-6228 to make that happen. But for Wake Up Missoula, I'm Scott Ramp.
And I'm Noelle McFoy. Have a good day, everyone, and we will see you Friday.
Take it away, Asaph.